Okay. Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to today's event of Telangana Photographic Society's monthly talk. Today, we are joined by one of the finest photographers in travel in the country, Saurabh Chatterjee. Saurabh, thanks a lot. Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to today's and agreeing to do this talk. Really looking forward to seeing your images. We will be starting with the announcement of the results for the photo competition for the month of February. So we start, I'll be scrolling the images and then you can see the winners, photographs. The third place goes to Shyam SR. The second place goes to Mr. Ajit. And the first place goes to Dr. Ravi for this monochrome. With this, thank you so much for participating in the photo competition for the month of Feb. The images that you have just seen are a result of the photo walk that Telangana Photographic Society has done at Ladakh, Hyderabad. We have gone, we started the photo walk from the Love Hyderabad location, and then different themes were explored, had lots of fun. We hope to see you also in our next photo walks. And with that, I conclude this photo competition winners announcement. Thank you. So moving forward, we have our guest speaker, Saurabh Chatterjee. Very few photographers, or in the world of photography, very few people will need introduction to Saurabh and his brilliant body of work. He's been shooting, I think, close to 2 decades, Saurabh. And traveling the length and breadth of this country, which is no small, right? Right from the south to the north to the east to the west, and exploring, I think, a huge variety of genres. Normally, someone who focuses on one genre itself, the genre might pose a huge challenge, but then Saurabh has very skillfully mastered different genres coming out of travel photography. So when we were discussing about exploring cultures, India is such a huge country, and every 100 kilometers, cultures, people, their traditions, their customs, food habits, clothing, they tend to change. So we were exploring of showcasing this particular diversity in our country. So Saurabh has kindly agreed to do this talk, and without further delay, I think I will give the digital floor to Saurabh. And Saurabh, whenever you're ready, we are really excited to see your work. Thank you so much.
So, thank you, Prashant, and thank you, Telangana Photographic Society, for giving me this opportunity to showcase my work. I'm really looking forward to this presentation. So I will start with, okay, so my purpose of life is to see India. So that's what I think I have been doing since quite some time, since I started photography. And so I will tell you about my first journey, which I did solo. So it was in the year 1995. So I just passed out from my +2 and had nothing much to do. And then I had a travel guide, and I was looking for some places to go around near my place. My birthplace is Patna, Bihar. And I found a place called Vaishali. Vaishali is a place of religious importance for the Buddhist, and there is an Ashokan pillar there. So that was around 45 kilometers from my place. So I went there. I just learned uh, riding a scooter maybe 6 months back. So I took my dad's scooter and filled the petrol, and then I went there. And I had a wonderful experience. I was a little scared to do that, but I had a wonderful experience. And those days I was teaching tuitions. That's how I got my money to buy my camera and the rolls. But yeah, I didn't shoot very frequently, but I really loved the experience. And always I had been a very introvert person, so it was very difficult for me. So I started shooting lifeless things with beauty. For example, the architecture, the architecture and other things that you don't have to talk to. So, and if at all I would shoot people, I would later use a telephoto. I would zoom as much as possible so that I don't disturb the people and then shoot. Okay. And at one point of time I realized that if I'm not talking to people and I'm shooting people from far away like a thief, I'm kind of missing out a lot on a lot of things, because India is about cultures. We look so different from each other. Each state is like a country, so the culture is different, the way we look is different, the costume is different, the festivals we celebrate is different. And it is mind boggling. Say for example, a festival like Sankranti happens on the 15th of January, and then if you want to shoot Sankranti in India, every state has a different way of celebrating Sankranti. So you have to, if you say I have shot Sankranti, you have to go to this all the different states and then shoot them in their own way. So in Tamil Nadu we have Jallikattu, and so see, every state has a different way of celebrating it. So it's a very formidable task. So I had been trying to shoot whatever possible, whenever possible. So I was into an IT job for a long time. So whenever possible, I used to go and shoot. And then when I quit my job, I traveled like never before. So so the first thing I do whenever I want to shoot people, I just it's good to just approach them, talk to them, and then probably you take a picture. And the reason I like and recommend talking to people is that you don't go back just with a picture, but with a story as well. So and I feel the story part is more important because it's an experience in itself. I will show you some examples and I will tell you some stories of the experiences that I had while taking those pictures. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen now. So, okay, you should be able to see my screen. If you can just, somebody can just type in the chat box. Yes, just one person. So then I'll get started. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Yeah, anybody can unmute yourself and just, okay, great, fine.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start in the order in which the pictures were taken. Okay, so I have a few pictures I will show to you, and I'll tell you the experience when I had while taking these pictures. And these pictures have been taken from all over India, north, south, east, west. I don't have too many, but yeah, I have a few pictures. So, okay, so I'll start with this picture from Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is very close to me, the whole of Telangana. I have traveled really a lot in Telangana. I'll show you some of the festivals that I have shot there as well. So this is from Hyderabad. So when you go around taking around the old city, there are a lot of things that you will be able to see. And do I approach people or do I shoot from far, not knowing about them? So I generally prefer talking to them, as I said before, and yeah, and then you try. And then the other thing I do is after I shoot, I just show the picture to them. So that makes them really very happy, and they get an idea about what you're shooting, and that makes them comfortable. And Hyderabad is one of the most easiest places to shoot people. So I have there are a lot more challenging places where it takes some time to convince people to take their pictures. Not many people are comfortable in front of the camera. A lot of times, just because they have not been shot before, or uh, because of a lot of different factors. Okay, and when I shoot people, I try to. So my initial pictures you will see with a blurry background. That's what I used to do before. I would shoot with a a lens, telephoto lens, where the background is blurry, but now I try to include a lot of the background so that you get a sense of place as well. So that's what I try to do now. So yeah, so you get a sense of the place as well when I'm taking this picture. Okay, so this was shot with a 50mm lens at f5, so you can see the blurry background. So by the way, if you want to see the exact information, it is written just below in the strip. It is written there. So and yeah, if you have any questions regarding any of the pictures, please feel free to interrupt me. You can type your chat in the comment, and maybe somebody can read it out for me so that I can, yeah, so you can just let me know. Okay. So I did one bike trip from Hyderabad. So this was, I traveled about 1,500 kilometers. I went to half of the western part of Madhya Pradesh, and then came back to Hyderabad. So this was uh, this was shot during that trip. And this place, this was a wonderful place. This was in Maheshwar. Maheshwar is famous for its temples. It's beside the river Narmada, and a very beautiful place, just like Varanasi. And as I was going, I saw this fields of red chili, and this guy was going around, running around in that place, flying his kite. So he was trying to fly his kite, and then I asked him. So generally, see, what I do is I don't generally interrupt people and make them pose. But yeah, this is one place where I needed some subject. The chilies itself don't do justice to the picture. I need something to make it a little more interesting. So I asked him to sit down here, and then his you can see his kite also there, and that's how I was able to take this picture. So this is one shot of that place, and so these are some of my initial pictures with and most of them have been shot with the DSLRs, and some of them even with a point and shoot camera as well. So this was again in Hyderabad. So there's a temple, quite old temple, an ancient temple. So unfortunately, public is not allowed. Very occasionally, you can go, and we were, as a part of the Hyderabad weekend shoots, we used to have that group. So we were invited to go and shoot this temple festivity. So there was some special festival going on. So I thought it was a great opportunity to go and shoot there. And before I go to any place, we were scheduled to go at a particular time. I generally go a little before time just to see the place. And then as I was seeing the place, I saw this priest sitting there, and then this beautiful ray of light falling, and that's how I was able to capture this picture. So this was also taken in Hyderabad. So and so sometimes what happens is this people, if they are aware, they will start looking at you, and then I tell them, you just carry on what you're doing. I don't want to disturb you. And then when I sit for some time, you see they won't they will start doing what they are doing, not really conscious about things. And then that is when I was able to get this picture. So here when light really comes to a small place, and then there is smoke or there is dust, you will be able to see these streaks of light falling, and that's how I was able to so it really appealed to me, this lines and this colorful room of this temple really made this picture interesting. So this, this was again in Hyderabad. You see, when I'm shooting people, so there are sometimes, it is more challenging to shoot some people compared to some others. But when people, if you are able to convince people that you are harmless, or you are you want to show things in a positive way, then people generally get convinced, and you will be able to take these pictures. So this was, these kind of pictures are generally not very easy to take, but if you are able to convince people, it's okay. So this was in Charminar during Ramzan, and it was the evening time, and there people go there, they apply this kajal in the eyes, and yeah, that is when this lady was doing, and so I was able to take her picture. So I took permission from her. So yeah, if you would like to ask this question, did you ask her? So yes, I did ask her, and I showed the picture to her, and she liked it. So so that's how I got this picture. So generally, when I show a picture, they feel more comfortable, and then they feel that okay, so this guy is not really putting things in bad light. So that is when I was able to take another few pictures and got this. So this was in during Muharram. So you see, when I'm shooting cultures, ignorance is not a bliss. So I need to do my homework well. I need to go to places, but before that, I need to do a good study of what is going to happen and what are the do's and don'ts. So a lot of things. So Hyderabad is one of the places where Muharram is celebrated, observed very intensely. So it is observed very intensely, and what is the place it happens and what time it happens? Do I know anybody who could take me inside? So these are a lot of these questions that come to me when I go to a place like this, because I might do something very stupid and offend people as well. So I read about the thing, why it happens and what people do and what are the photographic opportunities if I go there. So a lot of these things have to, and thankfully my friend uh, Ali Razvi was there to help me out. He told me the time and the place, and he was there with me personally as I was taking the picture. So that really helped me. So a lot of these pictures, though you see, taking a picture might take maybe just a fraction of a second, but there's a lot of homework that needs to be done, and a lot of times help from others. I am really grateful to people who have helped me get the pictures that I have. So here, Ali Razvi, my friend, who gave me all the information about going to this place. Okay, and so this is one of the shot that I got that day. So uh, some shots are very graphical in this whole series that I have done, but this is one picture which I can showcase in any platform, and still people will like it probably. So this is one of the interesting villages that I have been to in Himachal Pradesh. So this village is on the way to a trek called Chandrakani Pass. I mean, there's a, you can also go by road and then trek up the hill, so you will reach this place. And so this village name is Malana, and they say that these people say that they are descendant of Alexander the Great's army's people. So they speak a different language, and they have their own way of getting justice. So it's little different compared to the other Himachali villages. And as you can see, even the people also look very different. And I didn't want to just take a picture where the face is there. I wanted to give a sense of the background as well. So in the all of Himachal, you will see these temples very beautifully carved of wood, and that's what I want to capture. You can see a lot of these. And I went little low and then took this picture so that to get this angle, and I was able to get this. So in some places it is little difficult to convince, but yeah, here these kids were kind of okay for me taking a picture here. Okay, so this was again shot with a 50 millimeter. So initially I did a lot of these pictures with a 50 millimeter, but then I later I totally abandoned the 50 millimeter. I don't use it anymore. Very rarely. I do have a lens, but I have hardly used it in the recent times. So this was a picture. This was in Pandharpur, Wadi. There are these two pictures I have put here, and there was a competition by Alliance Sponsors, and this was these two were the only pictures from India that was awarded. I got the second prize for these pictures. So here you see this festival is very interesting, and if you want to see devotion of people, the emotions of people, you must attend this festival. So there are these two group of people who start from Allende, and they go to Pandharpur. There's a place called Pandharpur, and on Ekadashi or some. So you have to know the date when it happens, and the date is very critical, and what route it takes. It's all there on the internet. You can find out, and then you can go for this festival. And here, I was not really ready. I didn't plan this time to go for this festival. Thanks to my friend Deep, he kind of forced me to go there. And for this was my second time there, and that is when I got this picture. So here you see the policemen playing this dance form there with this pilgrim. And here this is a panning shot of the this ritual is called ringen. Ringen is basically the horse on the front without any person is believed to carry God, and then there is another horse behind which carries the person there. and there are groups of people sitting in between, and they just go around this group of people. So this is a very interesting thing. So before this thing started, I knew the horses would come, so I thought I would take a few pictures, but then I would also try panning. So I tried panning, and it turned out to be nice, though I was little against the light. So but yeah, it turned out to be quite good. So this is another picture from the same, but this was on a different year. So this was, there are these charging stations in between, and you see I have kept the charge composed in a way where the charging station is right there in the center, and then you have these people around, and you see there's a different expression in every people's face. Here you see there's a wire goes all the way to the pocket. So this person is little cautious. Somebody wants to take his mobile, or this person is checking how much charge is left. This person is scratching his head. This one also scratching his head. So here I took a couple of pictures and chose this one because this is where this shows everything. Everything kind of falls in place in this place. So this is basically the generator. You can see the generator behind, and the generator generates enough charge to charge all these mobile phones. This is used by the pilgrims who pass by this road, and then they want to charge their mobile to keep in touch with their family members. It is in Ladakh. You see this. These Ladakhi people, they play a lot, especially the younger generation. I don't see them a lot with this prayer wheels, but the elderly people, so they have this prayer wheel in their hand, and they use it all day. They would keep playing and just play. So this is one shot taking it on my street. So this was in Araku Valley. So Araku Valley is one of my favorite places, and there are a lot of these tribal people also. So there are a lot of these people who go in organized tours where you'll get some where there are people who you can shoot, but there are too many people, and then you don't get the natural expression. But if you go out exploring yourself, you will be able to get some good shots, some natural shots showing the environment and the people. So here you see I have shot the cattle herder with the background. So here you can see the background as well, and I was very fortunate. I'm always lucky. The nature blesses with beautiful background. So here the sky was really very beautiful. This was shot during late during the day, around probably around 4 o'clock. There was some beautiful light falling on the person's face. So that's how I got this picture. So this was shot with a 20 millimeter lens, 22.8 Nikon D lens, which I used to during a lot during those days. So this is one thing I want to tell you. So you see, there's a village. This village name is Bandare. It is quite close to Hyderabad. You can go there. These people are very unique, and so when we go there, we go in very small groups, and we try to become a part of the family. Okay, so here you can see my wife. She is also getting dressed, and these people offer to dress her like this. So this is what we do. So we just go there and try to mingle with them as much as possible. And then pictures are always byproduct. So we try to take a picture. You see, I don't have to make them pose. As I just go around, there are portraits waiting for me. So this is a place where you can get some really good pictures, not very far from Hyderabad, and great opportunities for taking pictures. So the reason I put this picture, I have a lot of pictures of the portraits that I've taken there, but I decided to put this picture because you see, when the people accept there as their own, when you mingle with them very well, this happens when you treat them respectfully and not as an object. So a lot of times, we just go there for the sake of a picture, and we take a picture and then we move out. So that's probably not my way of taking pictures. So I try to talk to people, hear their stories, hear about their lifestyle, and then probably I would take a few pictures, which will be as a byproduct. So being a part of the culture is something very, very important when I'm going out and taking their pictures. So this is how I get the inside pictures. So we spend almost the whole day there, and these people would not let us leave without going. So in the evening there was a wedding, and then they invited us to the wedding. So they would not let us leave without going to the wedding. So So it is not just a picture that I'm taking back, but the experience about the place. So this was somewhere in Rajasthan, so a small village in Rajasthan. And this man wearing this very vibrant colored turban, and then the background. So it was. So I have a lot of these pictures with people wearing colorful turbans, but here the background is what really made the difference to the picture. And so here I was using shot at 105 millimeter, and so you see a shallow depth of field, the background. So you just need the color, not the details of the background. That's how I got this. And, so this is one of my favorite places in India. This is in Zanskar, a part of Ladakh. And so these people are a little shy because probably when I went there for the first time, there are not many people that been there, and these people are a little shy, not really very keen on getting photographed. So I just behave as I would behave with my friends. So I just went around running around with them. So giving them, talking to them. So hearing about. So these girls go to school. I one question I ask is, what is your favorite subject? So these people study, and so then I tell. Uh, I would like to hear stories about them, and then as I go around, probably I would take a few pictures. So that's how I was able to get this picture. So this girl was actually hiding from me, kind of playing hide and seek with me, and I knew she would look at me when to see if I'm still there or if I'm gone. So that's how I was able to get this picture. So just one eye, and still made it this one of my favorite pictures from that place. So this is also another picture from this place called Zanskar, and you see sometimes they grow this, not all the time. So I've seen only 1 year where they grow this uh, mustard, and it looks quite vibrant. And this lady wearing a dark dress, so that again makes it look a little more interesting. So some people might ask me, why are you taking this? Why are you taking pictures? So yeah, it is absolutely okay for people to ask. People are always curious to ask, why are you taking a picture? So I have to explain them why I am taking. So I just tell them, so I just want to capture this whole beautiful environment that you have in front of me. So that's why I want to capture this picture. And a lot of times people would say no, but it is very important to understand why people are saying no, if they are. So not many times I have faced situation where people saying no, don't take my picture, just leave this place. So it rarely happened with me, people not allowing me to take this picture. So I will tell you, I'll give you one example. So I used to go very frequently to this village called Pochampalli is a village where you have a lot of these viewers. So you can meet the viewer families, and it's a very interesting place to go. And I don't take the highway, I just go through the villages, because you can meet these village people, you can do some shoot in the countryside. And these are very lovely people. You go, and they're always very warm and welcoming. But there was one time when it was little difficult for me. I saw these people. Once I went there, it was little difficult for me to go and ask them, so can I take your picture, please? So that was, I was really not able to understand why it is happening, why these people are not very keen on getting photographed. So I asked them, so why are you not allowing, not very keen on taking pictures? So after talking to them, I realized that there was some road widening thing going to happen sometime, and then these people were a little scared that we are from the survey, some department, and doing the work and to widen the road. So I said, no, 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 we are just here to take some pictures. That's it. And I have been coming here, and then it's so lovely to see you guys, and then and shoot. So once I talked to them, so all their inhibitions were gone, and then I was very nicely able to take pictures. So sometimes it's very important to talk to them to find out what's going on, why, if they are saying no, why they are, and that you will get your picture. And sometimes showing a picture always helps. So So, yeah, so this is one picture where you see it is. I treat these people when I go and photograph these people. I treat them like I would treat my own granny. So, and if I so anybody I shoot, I would just treat them like my own people. So when you do that, when you do that from the heart, you see people open up and then they get convinced and you are able to take the pictures. So here we were taking pictures, and she was initially a little hesitant as I was taking the picture, but then later she was fine, and then I was as I was taking a few pictures, she was just telling me, "Haven't you taken enough?" So that is when I got this. She was pointing the finger at me, and I was very lucky to get this expression. So that's how. I got this. So this was another thing from another picture from Zanskar. So I finished my travel there, and I was just going to get a haircut. And so when it was kind of evening time, and when I went inside, and this is what I saw. So it was very interesting for me, and it tells so much about what is going on. So these places at that time when I went for the first time and this was shot, there was no electricity. So these villages don't have electricity at all. It didn't have they didn't have electricity at all. So you might ask, how are the mobile phone getting charged? So they have this solar powered, very minimal electricity just for LED lamps, just for which have been set up by the government and the NGOs, which lights them at night, and they're able to charge their mobile phones. So I have taken a lot of pictures of these monks. So these monks, though they are supposed to, you know, learn this religious text and understand the religion, they are kids by heart. So here you can see how these monks are playing with the senior monk. So you can see, if you are there for some time, you will always be able to see this kind of activities happening in the in these monasteries. And so this was there are a lot of these villages where you can go in Ladakh, and they dress themselves and you can take their portraits. But this was taken in a different occasion. So this was taken in Leh. So these villages are little far from Leh, but this was taken in Leh. This was quite long back, when at one time the government, Ladakh government, state government used to have a festival where these people who used to come from all over Ladakh, and they would showcase their culture, and that is where this picture was taken. And this was taken with a telephoto lens, without her being aware. I was there for some time, and so we were all in a stadium. So she was also there in a stadium waiting for her chance, and I was also there, and I used a telephoto lens, and fortunately I got a very nice background. So the background has not been removed, but unfortunately I got this very nice background where just increasing the contrast helped me get this picture. So there are some pictures from different villages in Ladakh. And so this is from Spiti Valley. So you see this. This is one of my favorite places. This Nako village. This lady going through this. So okay. So would you like to ask any questions if you have? So maybe I'll just take a pause and then.
I wanted to ask you one question. When you are interacting with so many different people, in different contexts, and they obviously show a lot of warmth and their hospitality.
Yes.
What is the most memorable experience you had? This I'm asking purely from the perspective of, for example, food, right? Since I shoot food, I tend to think a lot about it. Uh, you must be also getting to taste that part of the cultural aspect when you interact with different people
Yeah.
during your visit.
So
So,
yeah. Yes, Krishna.
so how does how varied is that experience? And do you get to go shoot in the kitchens and when they are cooking? Uh,
Yeah, so that is one thing which is very very interesting. So when we go to these different places, we we get to, so I try to stay in homestays where you get to interact with the family as well. And one of my most memorable experiences I had was in the, it is, this place is kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we were driving, and then we were desperate to have something. We didn't have anything since morning, and we were basically looking for a place where we could have some tea and something to fill our stomach. But that whole journey for the day was, there was absolutely nothing at all. So even now there is nothing on those routes. So we found these cattle herders. They have this uh, temporary tent kind of thing, and stone building, small stone huts kind of thing. And we asked them, so can you make tea for us? So they were kind enough. These people, they were very kind enough. They made tea for us, and then we went inside, and we saw these people churning the milk, and they had these big containers where they are churning the milk. And then we thought, let us try. So my wife, she said that let me try how it is, how the experience is churning the milk. And it was a wonderful experience when we saw them churning the milk. And then I was taking these pictures, and we understood how difficult it is to take this this kind of activity. I had one very memorable event when I was shooting. Yeah, so we were there in a very small village during our trek in Himachal, and these people were very kind. So they said that, okay, so you are here, you are like our guest, so we would like you to dress as our with in a local costume that we have. So I said, okay, I don't mind. So then they the ladies took my wife in, and then I was being given a dress, and then we were dressed like a Himachali. We took some pictures. So it was such a wonderful experience, and these people were laughing at us because we were not able to carry that dress very well. So uh, so another occasion, I'll show you one picture where we actually worked in the fields with the farmers. So that is,
Lovely.
there are so many experiences. I'll tell you one very interesting experience. So I wanted to take picture of a old lady in Ladakh. So again, this part is uh, not very, not many people go there. And this was during a festival, and that lady was not very happy as I was taking the picture. So these people think that they have this wrinkled skin and it does not look very good. So they don't look good. That's what they think. So I want to take a picture, and then she had a stick in her hand, and she was trying to access me with a stick and hit me. And she was not agreeing. She was not letting me take a picture. So then I thought it will not work this way. So I went close to her. I took her stick and hit myself a couple of times, and she burst in laughter. And then I got the shots that I wanted. Okay, so you see, you have to think about ways on breaking the ice and what you can do to get a picture. And then I showed the pictures to her. So I said, see how beautiful you look.
So
So
I think there is genuine fascination with their culture, uh, whichever culture it may be. Uh, they are that much more open uh,
absolutely.
towards people, and
So this is one thing I find everywhere. Wherever you go, people by nature are very open-hearted, very warm, and very welcoming. And you see, this is how we human beings are. But in the city, we probably have changed a lot compared to how we were initially.
yeah. So I wanted to ask you one question, Saurabh.
Yeah.
We all see these brilliant photographs from you on Facebook and Instagram, and like some of the images feel so surreal. Such beauty exists in our country. Um, what pulls you back into the city life?
What would you?
What brings you back to the city life? What
If given a choice, I would spend most
feels
time in the
really
villages.
who would actually want to come back?
Yeah, that's true. So, given a chance, I would always love to be in the villages. And in fact, I spend most of my time in the villages. So, only because of the lockdown, I was here locked in the city. But yeah, in the lockdown, actually, I was 5 months. I was in my wife's village, so that was again a wonderful experience being in the village. So,
Right. Well, Yeah, I don't want to completely hijack all the time. I I invite others to post their questions. Uh, Thank you. Thanks a lot. Sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? If you don't, then I will probably continue. I have a few more pictures to go. All right. So let me share my screen once again. So if you have any questions, can somebody see? Oh, I actually was supposed to come this weekend. So I was supposed to do this from Hyderabad itself, but yeah, I had to be here. So I keep coming to Hyderabad once a month. I hope things are okay and I will be able to travel more frequently. Okay. So I have a lot of pictures from Varanasi of these sadhus. Again, it depends on how you interact with them. So if you these sadhus, a lot of times they are infamous. They are they are abusive, or they might throw your cameras. So in the Kumbh Mela, there are a lot of incidents where these people throwing cameras and trashing photographers. But I think it is common for all of us. So if somebody takes my pictures and run away, I would probably do the same. I would not feel very happy about it. But when you go and try to talk to them and sit with them, and then hear their stories, and then probably ask for a picture, they would never say no to it. In fact, I have had situations where they would stop me and say, Maharaj, thoda chai to pee ke jao, and the sadhus would make tea for me, and then I would go. So here, of course, I didn't ask them for taking a picture. Here, they were just doing their morning prayers, and I was waiting for a time when something interesting happens, and then I saw this pigeon there, and that really this picture a little more appealing. So this is one festival. This is Angal Amman festival. This happens in Tamil Nadu, quite close to the Karnataka border. It's a very interesting festival. So one of the most interesting festivals I've been to. And this festival, you see, and they do it with everybody. How they pierce the, and these are not all normal village people. So they pierce, and then they pray in front of the god, and then there are some very other incidents also happening there. You see these people, they uh, they get hallucinated, or what you call them, and then you see some very interesting things happening there. And you also have to be very sensitive while taking this picture, not going very close to people, not using the flash, not disturbing them what they're doing, and just shooting sensitively and capturing the flavor of the place. So this is from Islamabad. Of course, in Telangana, we have a lot of these tribal communities. You can go and shoot there. And again, when we went to this place, we uh, we brought something for the kids, and we had a really good time. We had lunch arranged at this place, thanks to my friend Raju, who was able to organize this thing, and we were able to go to these places and take these pictures. This is another shot from Mehboob Nagar. So these women, they are very enterprising women. So they are self-reliant, not depending on their husbands, and yeah, they were able to really make a lot of difference uh, growing this produce. And so I made a series on them, and so I was working with an NGO documenting their activities. It was quite an interesting experience. So this is one festival. This is called this is a place called Jejuri, and very this is called the Haldi festival, which happens on Somati Amavasya. So the first time, so I'll tell you the good thing about and the unfortunate thing that happened here in this festival. So there is a particular time of the day when the god comes out of the temple in the temple courtyard, and the best pictures you will get is from the top. So when you go to the top of the temple on the periphery, from there you can get the shot of the god coming inside. And I was too busy shooting other things, and by the time I wanted to get inside, the doors were closed, so I could not go inside. So I felt very frustrated, and so all my effort to come here and then shoot take the best pictures there was gone, because I missed those moments when the god was about to come out of the temple. but I got this very intimate pictures. I have a lot more pictures. I didn't get time to really take them out, but so I got these very intimate pictures where people are actually carrying the god, and then going out, taking them out of this temple to the river banks. Okay, so this is I was very I was regretting that I missed those shots. So I had to go there back again. But now I realize I like these shots more than the shots that. Where is it? So I'll show you the other shot also that I have. So this is the other shot which for which I had gone next year again, and I was able to capture this with the whole crowd people. So you see, it's a lot of failures as well, because you see there are some moments which are very critical, and you might be in some other place. So there are at least 3 or 4 occasions when I had to go back to the places because I didn't get the right pictures from what I wanted. So it always happens. So, but yeah, it never disappoints you. You lose something, but you get something else. So it is absolutely okay, and it kind of prepares you. You get some other angles as well. So this was one festival in Ladakh. This was a actually an unknown festival. So this is not published anywhere. So if you Google for the festival calendar of Ladakh, you will find a lot of these festivals. They happen on designated dates, but this is one festival which we were not ready for. So we didn't know that this festival happens because it is nowhere published. So we just happened to be there, and we were able to shoot this, and it was a wonderful experience. So we also danced with these people. They welcomed us, and it was such a great experience being here. So these people are very warm and welcoming, and you see that is the time when these newly wed people. So they are given this. So like we have in temples, we have garlands made of flowers. They have this thing called pakas. It's a strip of cloth which they offer to the monastery, and then they offer it to the people, so as a mark of respect, or as a good omen. So, and then you see this beautiful light hitting this. It was in the middle of the day, but you see this very harsh light hitting the cloth and then reflecting on the face. So that acted as a very nice reflector, and I was able to get this picture. And festival is also a time when you can drink countless, there's cups of Chang, which is the local beer, and they welcome you, and then you can also drink with them. It's a great opportunity to mix with them. So this is a picture where you can see the lady with the cup of Chang, and then you can see the mountains in the background as well, the landscape of Ladakh in the background. So this is one picture where you can see this young monk, and he's playing the conch. So there's a daily ritual that they do. So these monks, though you see these monks are they are supposed to do these religious chores. They also have time to take off, and then they do all these childish activities that all kids do. So I'll show you some pictures from that as well later. So now this is one very interesting picture. So this I'm sure you also might have experienced this. I was never a naughty boy in school. So I was always very obedient and very uh, not talking at all in the class. But you see that the most notorious, the guys in the class, the teachers were also very clever. So they used to make them monitors so that they would be able to handle the class quite efficiently. And similarly, this naughty monk, he was being designated. He was given this. So these people during the festivals, these people keep decorum. So they would not let the people step inside where the dance is happening. So they would basically maintain discipline. So you have to wear this mask so that they don't see you. So because probably if you see a kid saying something, you would not, uh, you know, uh, pay attention to him. But when you wear a mask, you have to, you don't know who the person is, and you can say anything to the person to sit or be away from the dancing area or whatever. So here you see, as he was taking off his mask, I was able to get this picture. So showing the two facets of the same person, one where he's as a naughty kid inherently, and then the responsibility as a monk to maintain this decorum or administration in this place. So this was another festival in Spiti, but I have a lot of pictures of those festivals, but I chose this picture because this is where the practice was happening. So this was we were just walking by and we could hear this singing happening from some room. And so when we went there, we saw this. So they were also very warm and welcoming. And really thankful to them for letting us in. And we sat and enjoyed as they were preparing for the dance, the actual dance that was going to happen. So there are some pictures from Arunachal Pradesh. So this is a tribe called the Apakani tribe. So this again, these people will this custom of having this here nose plugs will tie with these people. They say these people were very the girls of this village were very beautiful. So these men wanted and they were being kidnapped by other villagers. So they put this nose plug so that they stay in the village. So that's what they say, and this custom will die with these people because the younger generation they don't want to do these things anymore. So yeah, and so in some of these areas, very in the very interiors, they don't really care about government tools, and so this guy he was he was shooting on the road. We were just passing by in a vehicle, and he was shooting a bird or something, and then he wanted a lift from us. So I always make sure that if somebody asks for lift, I always give them. We have enough space in our vehicle to allow 1 to 2 people in, because we will be able to hear. So that will definitely build a rapport, and we would be able to hear their stories and talk to them. And that's a great opportunity to talk to these people. And I have heard a lot of these stories and build a lot of interesting connections by just giving them this. Allowing us in their vehicle. So we finally reached their vehicle, and there was this person was so very happy that he was able to reach his village. Otherwise, it would take him a couple of hours to reach there if he used to go walking. And next to him is his sister. So and she was also just back after doing some bringing some vegetables from the nearby farm, and then we were able to get this picture. So you can see this man with his old rifle here. So this is in Arunachal Pradesh, near a place called Daporijo. So we had some very interesting experience. So here you see this. It was a harvesting season once we went there, and men and women they all work together and then try to do this harvesting. And you won't believe we also went spent about an hour harvesting with them. Of course, we were very, in spite of the training they gave to us, we were very bad in doing that activity that they were doing, but it was a lot of fun doing this thing with them. So we spent about an hour. So they gave us bags and then we were putting them inside, but we were very bad in cutting those things. So, but it was, we had a wonderful experience, and then we sat together and then we had tea with them. So it was such a wonderful experience we had there. So this was again in Arunachal Pradesh, some part of Arunachal Pradesh. So this was in Assam. So there is a place, one of my favorite places in India called Majuli, and they have this Vaisnava culture. So they worship and they have these small monasteries where these Hindu monks they recite these poems and probably they get ready for the temple. So this is one picture in one of these monasteries. So when we go to a place like this, we have to be very sensitive, not to really interfere them, just being very quiet and just let them do what they're doing. And yeah, so now we have this, thankfully, we have this feature called the silent shooting. So that really helps taking pictures where people are not getting distracted. Okay, so there's another. So this is one type, the same place where these people fish, and so it was a. I found this very nice light coming in through this and hitting her body, and that's how I was able to take this picture. So yeah, I would probably finish here. There's a lot more I can say. So this is one of my reach. Okay, so this is one. Picture from a festival in Ladakh. So there are these sometimes they have these festivals when the Karmapa or the head priest comes, and then it's like a celebration. And these ice cream sellers and all these people, these toy sellers, they also come to know about that some festival is going to happen. and people from all the villages around, they would come, and it's a great time for these monks as well, because they also get a day off from their school activities, and that's when I was able to take this picture. So I would end this session here. So I would stop this presentation here. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to answer. Yeah, so ask me, and then I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah. So Saurabh, is somebody seeing the YouTube comments if there are any questions?
Saurabh, which is your favorite place in your travels? So this is such a prasad, and which is your favorite place when you travel?
So Himachal and Ladakh are my favorite places, and so there, of course, we have the beautiful landscape, and even the people are so warm and welcoming, and people go out of the way to help you and make you comfortable. So these are, and of course, in fact. And of course, Hyderabad is one of my places where I love shooting without fear, and people are so warm and welcoming. There are some other places where it is little difficult to shoot, where with a big camera people get scared or people get offended. But yeah, so Ladakh, Spiti Valley, Zanskar, Himachal, so these are definitely my favorite places.
And what's your future plans, Saurabh? I mean, you have images back. So what's your future like? You want to come out with a book in your travels
I
of
want
your
to
travels?
I want to do that. So I'm
Exhibition, do
yes.
exhibitions. Yeah.
Yes, so I have been doing quite a few exhibitions there in Hyderabad. I want to now. I'm in the process of organizing my pictures, deleting the ones which are probably not very interesting, and finding new ones, putting them all, organizing them all properly. And yeah, I have plans to do something like that in future.
What's your advice to youngsters who wants to take up photography full time? Because you're kind of a torchbearer. See, others they do it for hobby, but now that there's nothing like your passion becoming your livelihood. So you became a kind of with the photo. You left your software job and became a photographer. So what is your advice? Somebody wants to follow this.
Okay.
What you've done.
So there is so there are different professions in photography which really pay well. So there are things like fashion photography or weddings, events. So these are this can be steady flow of income. But I actually don't hardly make any money from selling my pictures or doing photography assignments. I am very choosy about doing assignments. I would probably do them only if they help me in some way. And most of the assignments, paid assignment that I did was something related to NGO, because they helped me travel to some places where which is very interesting, or documenting the lives of people. So it's very tough. It's very tough to make money from travel photography. So now at one point of time, I realized that I have been going to some of these places very frequently, and I have very good idea about these places. So I organize these photography tours, which really helped me. And then even in Hyderabad, I have seen a lot of these places. So thanks to a friend of mine, Rajesh, so he actually kind of forced me to take people out for walks, visitors, especially foreigners from Hyderabad. So that gave me another opportunity for some income, and I'm really grateful that he gave me and forced me to do that. And yeah, so this is how, but it is always very unsteady, and so there is always, but yeah, there has to be a fair balance between getting enough income for yourself and doing shooting what you really like to do. So there are also some assignments where they just expect you to do what they want to do, and there is no other opportunity. So I would probably not like to do those. So something that really uh, helps me get close to my vision and my dream. So that is what I would, those kind of work which I would like to do. It is tough, but definitely doable. So there are a lot of these bloggers and vloggers. They travel a lot, and yeah, so can generate some amount of income from photography. But yeah, of course, there are other commercial photography like like yeah, fashion or wedding. So probably those can be more lucrative compared to this.
Who inspired you in photography? When you started a photography, who inspired you?
Sorry, sir. I didn't.
Who inspired you? Photographers. Who
My
really
dad.
inspired? Yeah.
My
Okay.
my dad. So my dad was also a photographer. I mean, he was a amateur photographer. So my dad actually didn't have a camera. My uncle had a camera, and sometimes he would take the camera and take pictures. So he was very keen. And the biggest inspiration, I see some of his pictures, and there was one picture which I really remember when there was floods in the city in 1974, and he went out in knee deep water, probably more, and then he went out shooting the whole city. I still have some of those pictures. So he was the biggest inspiration for me for going out and traveling and taking pictures. And he also had dreams to travel, but he said that I was not able to travel because of a lot of responsibilities, and probably we're not that financially sound. So you do whatever you want to, and he had given me all the freedom to, even at a young age, to go to places alone and take pictures. So really very grateful to him.
Thank you, Saurabh. That was good. I just want to say three things about today's presentation. The first was a good learning that if you want to shoot, you should be interactive with your own subjects. So that's a big learning. The second thing that is important, which I noted, was that you were showing exposure data of all your pictures. So sometimes we always, guess for that, particularly that panning shot, the speed that which you took that picture was important. So all those things, that was a very important thing that you showed. Very few people would actually come up with their exposure data with their pictures. The third thing is that I think most important in travel and street is that you do your homework. So you should know where you're going. You should know what type of people you're meeting. If it's an event, what the event is about. Particularly about the Muharram thing, it's a very solemn occasion for a particular type of people, and they do it actually for the whole month, and that month is 40 days for them.
Right.
So it's a very solemn thing, and intrusions by photographers is one thing that they don't like.
Absolutely.
So I have pictures which I shot in Charminar from, I think, 78 or 79, standing in a balcony in Charminar East Lanes in one of my uncle's house. So, it was the same thing is still there today.
Absolutely. And one thing
They haven't actually
mentioned that I didn't want to stand out from the crowd. So I also wore full black that day, so that, I have to be a part of the whole thing. So you have to be very sensitive when shooting in situations like.
All those things are very important and learn, and you can only learn from your own colleagues and people who have been walked who have walked that street before. So right. That's a very important thing, and for these three things I particularly thank you for today.
Thank you.
So
it was a fantastic presentation.
Thank you, Prashant.
In our own homes, you have taken us to different locations, shown us different peoples of the land, and also sharing such beautiful memories during these trips, and how people behave with you, and how they treat you with open arms. They let you blend into their the environments, and
right.
be a part of them. That must be truly a huge reward for you.
Absolutely.
not just as a photographer, but as an individual. I have
Absolutely.
one question, final question from my side is, you have been doing this for a very long time, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, I think probably more than 2 decades,
Yeah.
right? This question I ask most artists, most photographers, about their art form. How has this art form, how has photography changed you as a person? Interacting with huge people. I mean, the country is huge. So,
Absolutely.
how do you, your practice of photography has changed you as an individual?
So it has really changed me as a person. So the way I am today is because of the people I have met. So initially I had a lot of hesitation in going and talking to people, even though I'm an introvert now. But I have a strong belief that people are all good from inside. So if I go and approach them, they would welcome me with an open heart. So I have this strong feeling with me with anybody I meet. So if I am going to probably meet somebody for the first time, I would have this feeling inside me that probably will have a very long friendship with somebody which I'm going to meet today. So that is one thing. And when I meet these people, I also come to know about a lot of these different issues that people are facing. So a lot of these social issues. So we went to a village which was relocated because of the dam being made, and it created so much of problem to these people. So they they have lost the water that they had been there for generations, and now they are without water. They are struggling. They have land, they don't have land, and they are kind of fighting to get their land back. So a lot of I mean, this is a very usual story of every dam that has been built, and how these people are for every drop of water. How so you see all these cities like Mumbai and Pune and Hyderabad, all the water is diverted, or even from the Himalayas, they are diverted to big cities like Mumbai. So now when I open my tap, I know how precious this water is, and how these people are deprived of the thing that has been there for generations. So a lot of these social issues also you come to know, and that kind of makes you very sensitive as a person and a little more responsible. So you see we have so many lights here in our house, and then when you go to these places, there are so many places where they don't have electricity. So you start feeling that okay, so this is one thing that has to be used in a very sensitive way, so that it can be shared with more people. So you become more more responsible as a person, as a human being, when you go and meet these people. And a lot of things that we take for granted is something which is a privilege for them. So
Yeah.
that is the thing I learned.
So there is a question for you on the Zoom chat. Um, how do you compose your visuals on the feed? Uh, do you have this pre-registered in your mind? Is it pre-visualization, or you go with the flow? See what the subject is in front of you and see what kind of treatment you can give it. Then there is a challenge of what kind of framing will you take?
Right.
Choice of lens. Probably this is what Dr. Prakash
Right.
wants to ask.
So most of my pictures have been taken. I use a mid-range zoom, something like 18 to 55 or something, in a full frame sensor, 24 to 70, or 24 to 105 millimeters, something like that. So I used to use telephoto. I had sometimes I used to carry two cameras for a festival, one with a mid-range zoom and one with a telephoto lens. But nowadays I just carry one lens. So I just so that's what I do. And in terms of the time of the day, a lot of times I don't have a choice. So I just have to be there when the festival is happening. And generally festivals happen quite late in the daytime, probably around there's a very average time around 11 o'clock, start around that time. So lighting is always a challenge. And when I'm taking pictures of people, so I try to go early in the morning and try to shoot them. And a lot of times I don't have choice over the background. A lot of times I don't have choice over the light. So it is just about getting what you have. I don't really create or orchestrate the whole thing. So a lot of things are beyond my control, and I don't really want to control them. So it is a lot of by luck I have got the right background, so the right amount of light and the compositions as well. So a lot of times even I can get a very cluttered background as well. So maybe by trying a couple of times I get the right background. So yeah, but it's
Someone,
always a challenge. Yeah.
someone else is asking about, during your travel. This question is from Krish. A wonderful presentation, Saurabh. Every picture of yours is a masterpiece. A lot to learn from your photo journey. So, you know, he's asking basically about your better half. So does she always accompany you on all your shoots, or
So most of the time she is with me.
who
She was
decides
also
she
into
comes?
a.
He decides she comes or not, or you decide if she comes or
She decides, not me. So
not?
sometimes I have to decide. So if I'm I'm going with a group of people, she's always welcome to join, and she does. But she does a lot of other things as well. So she was a banker for quite some time, and then she also quit her job, and now we travel most of the time. But she's also an artist. She does a lot of paintings, and again, so when she thinks that okay, she has time to join me, but yeah, so most of the time she joins me, and it makes my life very easy, because for me it is little more difficult to go and approach people, but yeah, we are always more fair and more open hearted to ladies. So it would be much easier for her to enter a house and talk to a lady. So at least if she's not there, if I mean there are some ladies in a group, it always helps to go and break the ice, because it really helps, because there is a gender barrier between me and my subjects a lot of times, and ladies, females in a group really helps to bridge the gap. So a lot of times she would take a picture first, and I would behind her, I would take a picture. So a lot of times it happens
Yeah,
like.
actually, I was about to ask you. You both are brilliant photographers. You travel together, and I'm sure you must be discussing, different perspectives on photography. Um,
Yes.
how do you see you complement each other? Someone just asked, do you compete with each other? I would like to think that you complement each other, not compete with each other. But what is your take on that? Like when you're traveling together, you know.
Honestly, a lot of times I see she is using an idea. She is probably more creative than I am. So she is taking some pictures in some way, and then probably I would use the same angles or use the same principles, and get sometimes I would get a better picture than her, and she would not be very happy with me. So it happens like that as well. So it's all about. I also go through her pictures just to see what, because you see we all have our own very
True.
constructive vision. So when I see her pictures, so in fact, we every time we go out for a shoot in a group, I try to learn from the other people also, because there's we all see things very differently. So and when we keep our minds open and see other people's pictures, I think that's the best way to learn, is to see what you have missed, being in the same place what you have missed, so that next time you don't do a mistake like that.
Yeah. 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 But it must be very fascinating to travel together, share the same passion for photography.
Yes, very much, very much.
Certainly. Any other questions from the fellow members?
Sarah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir, I can.
See, yeah. See, most of your shots are, how many of them are natural? How many of them are post kind of? I mean, what percent, generally, how do you do?
Okay.
It's a candid, or there is
Okay,
a laser
so
type and a steam acrylic type.
I think I did mention about some pictures. So this is a very nice question that you asked me. So given a choice, I would always take candid pictures. I would not, but I still don't interfere in their activities. I would just take the way they are. But very rarely, in a few pictures, I just tell them, just I'm taking your pictures, and you just be. I then generally don't interfere in their activities and move. So yeah, can I get the share screen option, please, Saurabh? So I will just quickly show you the pictures which I have made people pose and take pictures, but there are very less of them. So
Yeah.
introvert. So I mean, do
Yeah. So
those
there's
things.
nothing like, see, there's a new term which has come up, which is like post-candid. So there's
Okay.
nothing like post-candid.
Okay, so good. Yeah, right, sir. So you see, these pictures, they are all okay. So she was just doing her work. I just, I mean, because when I went there, she saw me and then she posed for me. So that's how. So these are very candid pictures. So I mean, I did not. So here I asked this guy to come and stand there, and I did mention that. But otherwise, these are all most of these pictures. So here, as I said, I was about to take a picture, and this girl was hiding, and then she came out, and that's how I was able to get these pictures. So initially they were all I was using a long lens, and then it was little easy for me. But now I have shared my inhibitions, and but generally I just let them do what they're doing, so this is, I just asked them to stand, and I got the picture. And here they were just doing their work. So sometimes they're looking at me, but I didn't want them to look at me. So I just I asked them, you do what you're doing, and then I would take a picture. So here this lady, I mean, she was right there. So I just asked her to sit down, and she was sitting in front of this beautiful door. So I got this picture. So it's a mix of both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Here you see, I told her I'm going to take a picture. You just be like this. So I was able to get this picture. So it's a fair mix. So given a choice, I would not, you know, disturb them. But yeah, sometimes I tell them just I'm taking a picture. Just be like
Very nice, sir. Very nice.
I have one question from Dr. Prakash.
Yeah.
Since we are talking about the concept, idea of composition and all that.
Yeah.
So you had spoken about how you compose your images and your point of views and issues like that. His next question is how much cropping are you actually comfortable with in post production?
So initially, when I was taking pictures, so when I was learning, talking about really early times, so I did not know a lot about composition. So later I would come back and do a lot of cropping. But honestly, now telling you, I have absolutely stopped cropping. So there are a few times I had cropped when I was using a 35mm lens, and I want to get a little closer to the subject. But all these pictures that you see here, they have not been cropped. So I don't really crop unless probably maybe 1 in 100 picture would have. But here in these
Hello?
pictures, there nothing has been cropped.
Hello? Nena. నేను బంగారు అదే ఇప్పుడు మధు ఫోన్ చేశాడు.
Well, any more questions from our fellow members?
Yes, Saurabh. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for waking up so late for this presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
It was
sir.
a very brilliant presentation. I love this presentation so much. And have you migrated to mirrorless technology, or do you envisage
Yes,
any
yes.
possibility of?
Yeah, I've been using mirrorless for quite some time now. It's been since the launch of Z6, or even before that, I was using a Fuji mirrorless camera, and I absolutely love them.
Okay. Right.
So the only thing is they consume a lot of battery, especially my Fuji camera used to consume a lot of battery, but I have extra battery. So, but otherwise they are less intimidating, especially the Fuji cameras. The lenses are also very small, and they are very less intimidating, and gives pretty decent quality pictures. So, and there was always this mental block that I had. I mean, theoretically we know that full frame cameras have more dynamic range, more details, and better colors, all these things. But yeah, I was proven wrong when I was asked to try this Fuji camera. So I really loved it.
So you are more comfortable with the mirrorless?
Yes, definitely. And even for my wildlife, I use a 100 to 400mm, and with a 1.5 crop, it becomes 600mm, and the lens is not more than 70 to 200 2.8 lens in Nikon. So it's pretty tiny compared to the 200 to 500 which my wife carries, and she's always complaining how heavy it is with her T850.
True. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
there are no further questions, I request Dr. Ravi, President of TPS, to kindly make the final remarks. And, yeah,
So,
over to you.
actually looking forward to it for a week, and as expected, we are overwhelmed with the images, and it's a lot of inspiration to everybody, even seniors also, to move into new genres and into new concepts, because every picture is an inspiration to everybody, especially if you're got a photographic eye. And that was wonderful. So I actually don't know what to say more, but I have already put up those three things that you did today. It was a little different and exemplary. So I wish you all the good luck and good health, and keep doing the good job.
Thank you so much, sir. And thanks to TPS for giving me this opportunity. And it's always great. I hope we meet again very soon. We start the physical sessions and we meet again very soon. So I was there in the last one, the last physical meeting that happened. And it's always good to meet people and get inspired. And of course, Satya Prasad sir is always my inspiration for going to the hills. His passion is very infectious. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Prashant, and I'm looking forward to meeting you people soon.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing such wonderful photographs. And hopefully we'll all meet together physically pretty soon.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we should thank Saurabh for a nice, seamless streaming of YouTube and Zoom. Thanks to the backup team.
Thank you, Saurabh. We are very grateful to you. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes we forget about how important their job is, because a lot of us are very technologically challenged.
Look who's talking, Saurabh Chatterjee. You're not technologically challenged. Nice. Thank you very much, Saurabh. Brilliant show.
Thank you, sir. So nice to see all of you.
Yep. Yes, sir. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.